How much of your time, energy, and emotions do you spend worrying about what others think? How often do you put your dreams on hold because someone else doesn't approve or understand? Too often, I'd bet. One of the biggest challenges in life is learning to put yourself first. I don't mean in a selfish way. I mean prioritizing your growth, your goals, your happiness. If you don't take care of yourself first, you won't have anything left to give to others. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met a young man named Tom. Tom was smart, had a great personality, and lots of potential. But Tom had a problem. He was always trying to please everyone around him. His parents wanted him to be a doctor. His girlfriend wanted him to stay in their small town. His friends expected him to always be available. And you know what happened? Tom was miserable. He was so busy trying to make everyone else happy that he forgot about his own happiness. Don't get me wrong, relationships are important. They make our lives richer. They support us and help us grow. But here's the thing. People come and go. That's just life. Friends move away. Relationships end. Colleagues change jobs. The only constant in your life is you. So I asked Tom if you could do anything without worrying about what anyone else thinks, what would it be? He said he wanted to start his own business, a tech company. But he was afraid of disappointing his parents, of his girlfriend leaving him, and of his friends thinking he was abandoning them. I told Tom what I'm telling you. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with your choices. You're the one who has to wake up every morning and face yourself in the mirror. And there's nothing worse than the regret of not pursuing your dreams because you were too busy trying to live someone else's. Now, some of you might be thinking, but isn't that selfish? Shouldn't we consider others? And that's a fair question. But here's the thing. By focusing on yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, you actually become more valuable to others. You have more to offer. You're happier, more fulfilled. And that positive energy radiates out to everyone around you. Think about it this way. When you're on an airplane, what do they tell you about the oxygen masks? Put your own on first before helping others. Why? Because if you pass out trying to help someone else, you're no good to anyone. The same principle applies to life. So how do we start focusing on ourselves? Well, it begins with self-awareness. You need to really understand who you are, what you want, and what your values are. And let me tell you, this isn't always easy. We're so used to defining ourselves by our relationships, our jobs, our possessions. Strip all that away. And who are you? Start by asking yourself some tough questions. What do you really want out of life? What are your passions? What makes you feel alive? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Don't rush this process. Take the time to really dig deep and be honest with yourself. Once you have a clear understanding of who you are and what you want, it's time to set some goals. I'm not talking about vague wishes here. I'm talking about clear, specific, measurable goals. Want to start a business? Great. By when? What kind of business? How much capital do you need? Want to improve your health? Fantastic. What exactly does that mean to you? Lose weight, gain muscle, improve your diet? Write these goals down. There's power in putting pen to paper. It makes your goals real and tangible. Put them somewhere you can see them every day. Let them be a constant reminder of what you're working towards. Now here's where it gets tough. Because once you start focusing on yourself and pursuing your own goals and dreams, you're going to face resistance. Often that resistance will come from the people closest to you. See, when you start to change, it makes others uncomfortable. They're used to you being a certain way, fitting into a certain role in their lives. When you start to outgrow that role, it challenges them and forces them to look at their own lives and their own choices. And not everyone is ready for that. This is where the people come and go part of our talk comes in. As you grow, change, and become more focused on your own path, you'll find that some people will drift away from your life. And that's okay. It's natural. It's part of the process. Remember Tom? When he finally decided to pursue his dream of starting a tech company, he faced a lot of pushback. His parents were disappointed that he wasn't going to be a doctor. His girlfriend gave him an ultimatum, her or the business. Some of his friends accused him of changing, of not being the same old Tom. And you know what? They were right. He wasn't the same old Tom. He was becoming a new Tom, a better Tom, a Tom who was true to himself and his dreams. It wasn't easy. There were times when Tom doubted himself, when he wondered if he was making a huge mistake. but he persevered. He focused on his goals. He surrounded himself with people who supported his vision and who challenged him to be better. And guess what happened? His business took off. He found success beyond what he had imagined. And more importantly, he found fulfillment. He was living his purpose. Some of those people who initially resisted his change came back into his life. His parents, seeing how happy and successful he was, came around. He met someone new who loved him for who he truly was, not who she wanted him to be. He formed new friendships with people who shared his passions and values. See, when you focus on yourself, when you become the best version of yourself, you naturally attract the right people into your life. People who support you, who challenge you, who inspire you to be even better. You can't make decisions based on keeping people in your life. You can't compromise your dreams, your values, your integrity just to make others comfortable, because if you do, you'll end up resenting them and resenting yourself. Instead, you need to have the courage to be true to yourself, pursue your passions, live your purpose, and trust that the right people will be there to support you along the way. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, what if I lose everyone? What if I end up alone? And I get it. That fear of loneliness, of rejection, it's powerful. It's primal. But let me tell you something. It's better to be alone for the right reasons than in bad company for the wrong ones. Besides, when you're truly focused on yourself, on your growth, on your goals, you're never really alone. You have yourself. And let me tell you, there's no better company than a self you respect, a self you're proud of. So how do we maintain this focus on ourselves in a world that's constantly demanding our attention, our energy, our time? Well, it takes discipline. It takes commitment. It takes daily practice. Start your day with yourself. Before you check your phone, before you turn on the TV, before you engage with anyone else, spend some time with yourself. Meditate, journal, exercise, read something inspiring. Whatever it is, make sure you're starting your day by connecting with yourself, with your goals, with your purpose. Throughout the day, check in with yourself. Are your actions aligned with your goals? Are you making choices that serve your highest good? Are you saying yes to things that matter and no to things that don't? End your day with yourself too. Reflect on what you've accomplished, what you've learned, what you can improve. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Learn from your setbacks. Here's a crucial point. Be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. Change doesn't happen overnight. There will be days when you slip back into old patterns. When you find yourself seeking approval from others, when you lose sight of your goals, that's okay. It's part of the process. The important thing is to recognize it, learn from it, and get back on track. Remember, focusing on yourself isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about being true to who you are and who you want to become. All right, let's talk about boundaries. When you start focusing on yourself, you'll need to set clear boundaries with others. This isn't about building walls or pushing people away. It's about defining what's acceptable and what's not in your life. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your dreams. Now, many of us struggle with saying no. We worry about disappointing others, missing out, or being seen as selfish. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals or values, you're saying no to something that does. Think about that for a moment. Every hour you spend doing something you don't really want to do is an hour you're not spending on your dreams, your growth, your purpose. So start practicing saying no. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty. But remember, you're not saying no to others. You're saying yes to yourself. And that's something to be proud of. When you start setting these boundaries and saying no more often, you'll notice something interesting. Some people won't like it. They've gotten used to you always being available, always saying yes, always putting their needs first. When that changes, they might push back. This is where the people come and go part of our talk really comes into play. As you set these boundaries and start prioritizing your own needs and goals, some people might choose to leave your life. That can be painful, it can be scary, but it's also necessary. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people are there for a reason, some for a season, and only a few for a lifetime, and that's okay. That's part of the journey. The people who truly care about you, who truly support your growth and happiness, they'll respect your boundaries. They'll understand that you need to focus on yourself. They might not always like it, but they'll respect it. And those are the people you want to keep close. As for the others, Sometimes letting go is the most loving thing you can do, both for yourself and for them. By letting them go, you're giving them the opportunity to find people who align better with their needs and expectations. And you're giving yourself the space to attract people who align with the person you're becoming. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked when we discuss focusing on ourselves. I'm not just talking about bubble baths and face masks, although those can be nice. I'm talking about real, deep, meaningful self-care. This includes taking care of your physical health, eating nutritious foods, getting regular exercise, and getting enough sleep. Because let's face it, if you're not physically healthy, it's hard to focus on anything else. It includes taking care of your mental health, managing stress, processing emotions, seeking help when you need it. Mental health is just as important as physical health, maybe even more so. It includes nurturing your spirit, whatever that means for you. Maybe it's through prayer or meditation. Maybe it's through spending time in nature. Maybe it's through creating art or music. Whatever feeds your soul, make time for it. Here's something that might surprise you. Self-care also includes challenging yourself, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, learning new skills, and facing your fears. Growth isn't always comfortable, but it's always worth it. As you focus on yourself, set boundaries, and practice self-care, you'll start to notice changes. You'll become more confident, more self-assured. You'll have a clearer sense of who you are and what you want. And this is where things get really exciting. When you're clear about who you are and what you want, when you're confident in your own skin, you start attracting different opportunities, different people. You start seeing possibilities that you might have missed before. The world responds to the energy you put out. When you're focused on yourself, living authentically, you radiate a different kind of energy. And that energy is magnetic. It draws in the right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences. But here's the catch. You have to be open to receiving them. You have to be willing to step into your power and embrace these new opportunities, these new relationships. That can be scary because it means leaving your comfort zone, taking risks, and being vulnerable. But let me tell you, it's worth it. Because on the other side of that fear, discomfort and vulnerability is growth, fulfillment, and a life lived on your own terms. Now let's address something that often comes up when we talk about focusing on ourselves. The fear of being seen as selfish. Our society often equates self-focus with selfishness, but they're not the same thing at all. Selfishness is about taking from others, about putting your needs above everyone else's at all times. Focusing on yourself, on the other hand, is about becoming the best version of yourself so that you have more to give to others. Think about it this way. If you're constantly depleted, stressed, and trying to please everyone else, what do you really have to offer? But when you're fulfilled, living your purpose, and taking care of yourself, you have so much more to give. You're more present in your relationships, more effective in your work, and more capable of making a positive impact on the world around you. So don't let anyone make you feel guilty for focusing on yourself. Don't let anyone shame you for prioritizing your own growth and happiness. By doing so, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're benefiting everyone around you. I want to address one more crucial point: consistency. Focusing on yourself isn't a one-time event. It's not something you do for a week or a month and then go back to your old ways. It's a lifelong journey. It requires daily commitment, daily choices, and daily actions that align with your goals and values. Yes, some days will be harder than others. Some days you'll feel like you're making great progress, and other days you'll feel like you're taking 2 steps back. But here's the secret. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about getting back up when you fall. It's about recommitting to yourself every single day. As you do this, as you consistently choose yourself, focus on your growth and your goals, you'll start to see amazing changes in your life. You'll become more resilient, adaptable, and confident in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. You'll also start to inspire others. When people see you living authentically, pursuing your dreams with passion and determination, it awakens something in them. It makes them question their own choices, their own lives. In doing so, you become a catalyst for positive change, not just in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. So as we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary, it's powerful, it's transformative. People will come and go in your life, and that's okay. The ones who truly support your growth and happiness will stay. Even if they don't, remember, you always have yourself. So commit to yourself, invest in yourself, believe in yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are the author of your own story, the creator of your own life, and you have within you everything you need to create a life that's truly extraordinary. Thank you.